Welcome to the March 28th Area Planning Commission meeting. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, are you gonna do roll?
Just call me Madam Secretary. But roll call. I probably need to be careful when I say that too. But Bill Mackey? Bill Mackey? Okay, Bob Stewart? Not present. Okay, Bob Stewart. Okay, Tim Sparks?
Present.
Okay, Dale Munson?
Present.
Okay, Gary Naylor, not present. Okay, Darren Price.
Present.
Okay, Bill Free, not present. Okay, all right, Brian Robb
Present.
and Daryl Drew.
Here. Okay.
Okay, all right, Jeff Wessling is not available this evening, nor is Beverly Rude. And I, Bill McDaniel, am here. Okay, present.
Okay, so we do have a quorum. We don't have any minutes to approve.
No additional minutes this month.
Okay, introduction of new members.
Please introduce yourself.
Yep. My name is Tim Sparks, born and raised in Connersville. Moved out of the area for quite a while. Lived in Batesville, Northern Kentucky, and decided to come home about 2012, and so I've been back here ever since.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
And please speak as slowly as possible for things, since I'm not used to taking notes like this.
Alrighty, zoning code updates, parking regulations.
Yep. Okay, you all have a copy. I was able to insert the comments related to both, Commissioner Strong and then also Councilor Collins. Commissioner Strong's are in red, Councilor Collins are in blue, and I have a few separate comments here and there, and mine are in green. Okay. Oh, hey, Bev. Yay!
I got minutes too. That's why I was late, and right now I'm gonna look and make copies.
Oh, okay.
Suck it in there, Miss Munson.
I'm trying.
Let you take this over.
Me?
Yeah, that's starting to take the notes. I took the roll call.
Where is everybody?
Okay, no. That's the roll call down to Bev. There you go. Since we have Bev has arrived and we have minutes.
From last month?
Huh?
Pass them down?
So we have 1 or 2 months worth there.
1 month.
Okay.
Here's minutes from last month, guys.
Okay, after a quick review, does anyone have any additions or corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, you two will please sign that and pass it back down to me.
Okay, now back on the parking regulations.
Okay, so the county council, commissioners, excuse me, county commissioners voted no, primarily because there were concerns about some things did not seem appropriate for outside of the city limits.
Okay.
And so those are things which I will ask to work on prior to the April meeting, then to have a draft of this. And as I'm working through that, at some point when I have some things in place, I will go out of my way to, I'll probably in particular talk with Commissioner Strong. So it's pretty much just a lot of Dale's comments, of course, is from the first one I seen. You can see that's really very general, and that just the whole section just he doesn't feel isn't appropriate for outside of the county, such as the ones on the vehicle storage requirements, and then also the recreational vehicle parking. And I think there may be some misunderstanding with some of the things on commercial, there's some sections on commercial vehicle storage. And then, let's see, get back to another one, is that then when we get back to page 8, okay, and these are for, plan review, parking plan and submission and review. And I just need to sit down and then go more closely with Commissioner Strong, because Dale, did you get the feel that Dale didn't understand that this was, what the review was for commercial uses?
I think so.
Did he feel that was the case, or did he not?
I think he did.
Okay, all right, okay. That's just what I need to talk with him about. And a lot of Mr. Counselor Collins' comments had to do with, he's actually he's recognizing things that are actually new. So a lot of the things in blue are things that are actually new from from what is currently in place.
Okay.
And some of those are the references such as getting rid of reference to the city engineer, things like that, into how these things are gonna be, reviews and approvals, some of which are gonna be based on when the city and the county finally does adopt the, development standards for the city and the county. Brian, do you know when that's gonna come up?
No, I don't.
Okay. Because.
Check on that on Monday, Sue.
Yeah, check on that on Monday, because I know that Jeff's been working on the ordinance language for the city and the county with that. Okay, so. And one in particular with Mr. Collins that he stated was, particularly with the semi-storage does it need to be paved, or suggest allowing it to be parked on gravel? And Brian? And I got lost with the Counselor Barrett's, what she was asking about the parking on the front yard.
Let's see.
Yeah, because you won't because how does that work with, I think, something parking on, with, number of vehicles, because some people, I think she's saying something about that. Well, you have people who have multiple vehicles, but you don't have parking for every place. Well, what do you do? I think what having to do with about that, I mean, you have to create a drive. Was that what she was asking?
I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was the quantity of cars on the thing, and I don't know what the result was he was asking as far as.
Yeah. But I think the main one around with it is as Counselor Collins brought up, was that in any case, under the Indiana code, is non-operating, non-registered vehicles are still not allowed to be, seen from the road, I think. So there's provisions right there, and I guess it's just re-emphasizing some of those things. Because what we do have is then non-operating vehicles, either in the backyard, and then we have another one where if it's, and then allowing storage in a structure such as a pole barn or something. But,
Okay.
okay. And, yeah, because one we have here, well, the one new one that also, Mr. Collins highlighted is that with the commercial vehicle storage, the number 4 on page 3, which is, this regulation should not be interpreted to apply to school buses stored on driver's property where the driver lives. Because I know we had a discussion about that, and I think that, Daryl, you're the one that really brought that up, weren't you?
For the,
About the buses?
yes.
Yeah, because it's. Okay, so a lot of the things is that Mr. Collins was identifying also things that are really appropriate. Yeah, still in there, but it's good things to have, such as the lighting not spilling over to create off-site light, and then glare spillovers as an example. Okay, now then, as far as a couple things to delete, and because I know we had a discussion about these two items, is we're going through, this was the nature area, the one for every 1/2 acre, including nature area, one space, and it was suggested to delete that, and I think I can agree with that because we have bird sanctuary, we have, that would be a ridiculous amount of space to say, for example, the bird sanctuary, if we had one.
Right.
Okay, then there's one that Mr. Collins asked me to check on, was with the recreational sports facility, which is the one below that, is go ahead and inventory what we have for those, similar to what I did for all the businesses. So,
I think, yeah, that probably partially goes to the soccer field.
yeah, because I know there's been there's a lot of complaints that get made about people parking along the road. So if there's not enough there, they need to find some more, or because I've had some people tell me, even though there's parking inside, people are still parking on the road.
There's plenty of parking out back by the field, they just don't want to walk that far to the front of the field.
Yeah,
You know.
so I think the only way really to deal with that is really it's kind of a law enforcement thing. Okay, and then the other one probably makes sense to delete is recreational facility, water-based. Well, all that we really have is the park. We don't really have any pools or anything else like that other than that, or lakes or ponds. So, because we really don't have any public lakes. We have a skating rink or then just the one swimming pool, and so it might make sense to actually go ahead and delete that one. I don't know what you meant, the plan commission members that are here.
So that would pertain to Smalley's Lake too.
Yeah, exactly, because it's the, yeah. Not that I don't know if anybody want to swim in it. But yeah, it is a public lake, so, I think that because we needed to figure out what is actually there. Okay, because everything that we have is already, so even if it's insufficient according to this, they're still legal non-conforming or grandfathered. But what is the probability that we're gonna see something like that again anyway? Okay, so we have the recreation facility, so inventory of one, delete those two. And as with the parking plan submission and review, okay, that you need to emphasize, maybe we need to make it more clear that this parking plan review and submission and review really is aimed toward class 1 uses, not 1 and 2 family uses. Because it would get reviewed to someone, because if it was a subdivision, that would get reviewed as part of the subdivision process. Right. Yeah. And if things are also in the city, is that with the stormwater, and the erosion control. That's also gonna be reviewed by their consultant, the Connersville Utilities consultants.
Okay.
So I think there's some things that might be able to make some of this a little bit more clear.
So then, under A there, the planning director or plan review committee may grant a maximum 20% reduction. So that would be without going to the BZA
Yeah,
if they wanted to reduce more than 20%.
yeah, so they could potentially reduce it by that, yeah.
Okay.
And then, the reduction, then as we talked about, is they have to be able to demonstrate, part of the reason for the parking review is that, well, they need to be able to then demonstrate through data that what they're proposing is actually an appropriate number of parking spaces and won't cause problems. And I think that most developers are gonna, they want to have enough parking.
Right. Well, I think we've seen with the Dollar Generals who
Yeah.
ask for reduction that,
Yeah, we really haven't had a problem with that, no. Okay, so, then also is then we go over on to page 8, part where the gravel surface may be used for a period not exceeding 1 year. Because a lot of that part right there really is, that's from existing regulations, some of those that were kept.
okay,
So, it's just because they're kept, doesn't mean that they're still necessarily appropriate and inappropriate out in the county.
right. So what will essentially happen is we're gonna have two different versions.
Well, it's not necessarily two different versions. Could be along the lines of what we did with the home occupations, home-based business. Is that, well, because we stated that some, it's appropriate in the rural areas, some are not appropriate in the, rural areas, based on whether they need some type of review. So there could be similar language that's gonna state that, say, in the, so you could follow it up with one section, city, within the incorporated limits of the city of Connersville, and then outside of the incorporated areas, city of Connersville.
Okay.
And, but another one could be using the language is to, in some cases, it's particularly when you get into the residential, because when you're talking out in the county, that is how you deal with that with, say, rural subdivisions, say like Pleasant View. What do you do about then Everton, Bentonville, Columbia, and those as far as residential goes? So there's things that we can probably manage. So I'll just need to talk with Dale about that, and they'll also need then some, legal guidance from Jeff with this.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll need to have it so that, we'll have the language in there, because because this was done, so we have basically 45 days to actually act.
Right.
Because if we didn't act as the plan commission with 45 days, it's like, well, the whole thing's dead. I don't think we want to go through that again.
No. Okay.
Any other questions, anything else on the parking? Solar energy?
All right, solar. We had another meeting on March 14th. Continue to be pleased with the attendance. We had a lot of good conversation. Most of it circled around setbacks. And a lot of the folks who are attending have now had a chance to go through and read the actual ordinance and are seeing that we're right there.
That we actually put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, they're just looking at some tweaks here and there. So hopefully, and I think Gary would agree, hopefully in the next meeting or so, we can start putting some language together.
Okay, but they do finally understand, they all, at this point, all understand the difference between separation distance and setbacks?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's not always an easy concept for people to get.
And that was a big chunk of that conversation as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, zoning code amendment, accessory uses, review and discussion.
Okay, does anybody actually have some comments? Because if we don't, if everybody could please go ahead and then, just take a look at it, maybe, just one section at a time over the course of the next month. And I do not care if you bleed all over it. So, because, we want it, because we need to have a lot of comments to really try to get some of these things taken care of. A lot of these things are no-brainers. I think a lot of things can still be kept, but there's some of the other items that I think we all of us recognize does need some changes.
Yeah.
And then some of the other items that we can probably pull into the yard exceptions, and then also the accessory uses, and from others. And one that should be fairly easy to replace would be the part on the manufactured homes.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I'll have people that'll say, well, it's like, no, because everything on there with this class A through class F are really, they're irrelevant, because if you use that type of language, you need to regularly
Yeah.
update the language. And I think a lot of ordinances, they don't really do that anymore. And,
Yeah, most of this is dealing with 76, so.
exactly,
almost
and this,
50 years.
yeah, well, what's ridiculous is because this thing was also adopted in 1993, that language. So there's 31 years worth of changes. Okay, and then I think the other one is some of the ones with the potential new provisions. And just let everybody know is that at least once a month, I'm still getting requests for people asking about the tiny homes. So at some point in time, we really do need to face it.
Yeah.
Tiny homes, but in the meantime, there's other things that we can be done maybe as temporary uses and allowing them under certain conditions, rather than just, because as much as anything, I think I need to become more familiar with what's out there, then also the rules and the regulations, different places. And I think to bring people along with the idea of the tiny homes, it's an education process.
Right.
Because, yeah, but I think the one as the accessory dwelling units, and then the temporary accessory dwelling units probably be appropriate. And then the state legislature also changed what little controls you have at the local level with within mobile home parks.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and maybe might be appropriate, say, in a mobile home park as one to permit them. But what people need to understand is that when there is tiny homes, because they're now included in the International Code Council, which is where all the model ordinances come from that Indiana adopts, is that they do now have provisions. It's on the size in what is actually called a tiny home. It does need, it needs to be built according to the same standards as the residential building code, which means 2x4s, things like that, not cheap, and
Okay.
and it does not include recreation vehicles,
Right.
because they're not meant and built and insulated for permanent structures. Okay, the other one with that is and HUD probably also has standards for those too. So, but, tiny homes, so. But like I said, because it's really a big affordability thing. So it's at some point in time. And, but. And then there's some of the ones within there that I have italicized is, the accessory uses. There's some of the ones that we had discussions with Brian Durham.
Oh, okay. Okay. Alrighty, so we'll take a look at that over the course of the next month. Reformatted zoning code progress?
No other no other progress with that.
Okay,
But I think that probably won't need to make any progress with that until some of these other, for example, these, such as the things with the accessory uses are taken care of. Because once we have some of these major zoning code changes, we'll probably make it easier to reformat and move things around in the zoning code.
alright, director's report.
Well, and I think just to let everybody know that, okay, we did have that Project Zeus down at the old Vistion plant. They're moving forward with that.
Okay,
So they're moving forward. And but it's about half of what was still remained that they used. They were building a very, very long demising wall to separate out the area they're gonna use from the part they're not gonna use right now.
oh, okay,
So hopefully they'll be successful enough, they'll be able to expand into the rest of the building. And so the goal is to have the first line up by the end of the year.
nice.
So they're actually moving along pretty good with that. Okay, so didn't happen today, but site suggested either Monday or Tuesday, first part of next week. It looks like they're gonna come in to pay for the foundation release for the Reed project.
Okay,
Because they've gotten the release for that. So they're still working on the actual drawings. So we've got that taken care of with I think people know readjusting that fee schedule to be reasonable.
okay,
But, yeah, and the one I really emphasize is that I still have some people trying to call me out. It's like, well, and it's why I made the reference to as many times as I did with okay. Now, and which is why changing it to a square footage rather than a based on cost. Was that based on the cost with what's being proposed over there would have been a $135,000 fee. Which for the same project is Indianapolis would be about a $25,000 fee.
okay,
So a fee more than 5 times that in Fayette County,
would not do much to attract,
no, that is to put it more in lines with other places.
okay,
So, yeah, because as everybody's heard me say many times, the fees are supposed to reflect your cost of the services.
okay,
Just because you can milk doesn't mean you should.
that's right. Okay, anybody has no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the director's report.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Anybody else have any other questions for Bill right now? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Who's second?
Aye.
Tim.
New guy.
That's right.
Any opposed?
Company with both feet.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned.